Ouch. Hello and hi and stuff. Yeah. Um Hello. uh, Today, on this New Year's Eve, we are going to be streaming The Pillars of Eternity for as long as my voice can handle it. Since there is a lot of reading and stuff, and I am a bit on the sickly side. So yeah. Hello. Hi. And stuff. Let's continue. Last time we stopped off at this beachy place where we're supposed to go talk to this witch or whatever about this lady who's having a child and stuff. She's afraid that the child will have no soul, so she wants some cure for it. I'm very sorry about. I'm going to be doing all stream long. Because that is what happens when you get sickly. Yeah, I wanted to play this game though a little bit more because this game is pretty fun and stuff.
Keeping an eye out.
Wait, does this automatically do that sneaky? Oh, left alt. I see. Hello, people?
Sure.
Two villagers stand by one of the tide pools. They are breathing harshly, clearly winded, and look up nervously as you approach.
Hail, traveler.
If you're here to fish, as we were, stranger, you'll want to avoid the compass proper. The dwarven woman points to the southeast. Her companion shakes his head. A lot of ships wind up spread across the rocks here, so we didn't think much of the wreckage, until we heard something. A terrible noise. I thought maybe it was a survivor, but he wasn't alive. Moving, but not truly alive. She shudders. It was awful. So, what are you two doing out here? Fishing, of course. Except I lost my fishing rod when I flung it at the head of one of those monsters. We were looking the tide pools over and thought we'd try our luck down by the rocks. Got the fright of our lives. We'll have to make do with the nets here, or go hungry. You said there are a lot of shipwrecks here. The woman nods. All the time. It's a lovely place, but dangerous as anything to sail. Good fishing, most days. She wipes her brow. I think we'll look further up the coast next time. What do you mean? What did you see? Corpses. Walking corpses. We don't want any part of it, whatever the cause. Might be we can find something in these tide pools and then we're headed straight home. Oh, goodbye. Good tidings to you. Wait, do you hear that? Sorps! Oh shit, I needed a little bit of a rest. Oh god, I really don't remember how to play this game. Come on, kill it, kill it, kill it! Gosh, what a miss. Thank you for your help, stranger. You are welcome, I guess. Did both of them manage to survive? Oh yeah.
And what does the flame reveal?
No, we're not. No, we're not moving yet. Slow mode? How did I do? What did I? What? No. Normal speed, please. I'm so used to the buttons in Sword Coast Legends that I really don't remember
Show them how it's done! I'll teach you a...
Yeah, one day I'm going to be streaming Sword Coast Legends as well, because I'm having a lot of fun with it. Crabs and small fish cluster in this pool, left behind by the tide. I don't care what people say, it's a good game. So far, anyway. What? When did I put fast mode on? Hey, Admiral Duck, how are you today? At some point we're going to have to do the resting thing. Oh, because this guy has the concussion apparently. Oh, hello. A crossbow and Fulvano's letter. Let's have a look at the Fulvano letter. How is it that so grand a journey as mine should lead me here? The people of the Durwood call this pitiable lagoon a sight to see, but all I have experienced here is misfortune. I thought to explore the cavern by the waters, only to discover it was home to sporlings. I went to see the vaunted compass and lost the bulk of my letters when I tripped over some driftwood. And at last I made to inspect the dragon skulls nearby, only to be menaced by some foolish little sorps. I will return to Gilded Vale as soon as I catch my breath. At least the sorps do not appear to have followed. Never mind, they followed him. Well, I mean, I I'm not doing much either on New Year's. I've had a dog that's been scared of fireworks for like
I'll teach you a lesson.
13 years, so there was really nothing, I would do during New Year's because,
And that's how it's done.
you don't go anywhere when you have a dog that's scared of fireworks. Now that dog is gone and I have a new one and I still don't know what to do really. Excuse me, dog, what are you doing though? It's like you're trying to do something, but I don't know what. So yeah, I haven't like done anything for the last 13 years during New Year's, other than, just game, I guess. Clamshells and crab carcasses littered the coals. Let's go take a nap. Why can't you get damage reduction? Oh well. You awake to the sensation of being shaken, and you open your eyes to see Adair standing over you, his hand jostling your shoulder. He looks concerned. Your eyes are heavy and your vision blurred, the vague unease of unremembered nightmares clouding your thoughts. You are not sure you slept at all the previous night.
Hey. Hey! You awake? Good. You were kind of thrashing around, eyes rolled back in your head. You were shaking. Trying to snap you out of it for a long time now. I was gonna have to get a bucket of cold water.
Well, I started out with half health on two of my characters. Well, like half stamina or something.
You don't seem like you get much rest at night. You got those dark circles under your eyes.
And not lately. At night there are dreams and whispers.
Nice the Watcher thing, then. I'm sure it just takes some time to adjust is all. I'll try to let it sort itself out. You better wake up faster next time. Trust me, you don't want that bucket of cold water.
Don't bucket of cold water me, dude. That's rude. His smile is not one of a man convinced by his own words. Thanks.
And what does the flame
Wrong
reveal?
button again. So yeah, I have been a ghoul. Gaming for New Year's. This year, I'm streaming though, because why the hell not? Come on, you're a bit not supposed to be there. Can you not? Can I give them tact? Oh, I can talk to him like this. I thought I felt your eyes on me. Now come the words. I had questions I wanted to ask you.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
Why were we supposed to meet? The why of it is you're a watcher, he snorts. A watcher runs two roads of why. For me, it's more a matter of what. There was a time when I wouldn't have spared a thought for your words, or even bothered with you, but now, seeking out watchers is what I do. To put the truth to them, see which of the two ways they bend. He smiles slightly, taunting. Truth? What kind of truth? Either you're a dry field in need of harvest burning, he frowns for a moment, his eyes flat, or you're lost in the darkness. Either way, you can see differently from others. He gives a half smile, then his tone becomes accusing. I can tell by the way you noticed the staff first off. What? Not many can see it at first, nor the etchings or the flames, but your eyes. He stares at you, almost eagerly nodding. Your eyes traced the path, that I could see. So which are you, a dry field or lost in darkness? Durance's face tenses. The day we don't trade that question back and forth is the day our paths no longer need to be joined. And the trial... Durance's hand clenches his staff. The trial is done. Uh, so you don't know either? You know this nation is diseased. Don't need to be a watcher to see it in the children, the politics, the men that stalk the roads with knives in hands and murder in their eyes. This land needs life again, new seeds planted in the burned soil. His voice drops mocking and his eyes narrow. Something tells me you can see the path to making that future happen, Watcher. Your kind always does. So then, we need to make sure you see truly now. This nation, its people, don't need any more lies blinding them, nor do I. You test a truth. You don't blindly accept it. And how do you plan to test me? Sharing the road, of course. One truth to match another, matching each other's pace, keeping rhythm. Other priests can keep their teachings and rantings. For my faith, my teaching, sharing the road is a simple, hard truth. His smile widens and his hands tap against his waist once and twice. And when you knock on truth against the leg of another, why, both legs stand firm. But now, if you strike a lie at the knee with the same force, his smile dies and his eyes narrow. Why, you make a cripple with but one leg to stand on. I don't understand what he's talking about. Is that why you carry that staff? Is that why Durance is about to launch another volley of words, blinks. Then he rolls his head back and laughs deeply, the laughter coming until it seems the air will run out of his lungs, until it seems forced. Perhaps your words are worth listening to, Watcher. He frowns, any trace of humor gone. But the truth will win out. Keep pace and we'll see. Okay, let me ask you about something
The
else.
cost of troubling me seems to worry you little.
I wanted to ask about the region and its history. Endurance grunts. Can you tell me about the Hollowborn?
That's a curse that runs deeper. It's a godhammer of a different sort. And like the godhammer, it was made by men's hands.
All things have a price. Left unchecked, faithlessness, virtues, it leaves marks on souls, until souls don't have the strength to enter bodies that are pure. Animancers, ciphers, all who play games with the fabric of souls are to blame for the barren field they leave behind. Durance glares at you. Even watchers can do the same. Some simply watch. Others try to weave souls, guide them as surely as a wade wind across evildoer. He turns away. That is why I correct the Hollowborn when I find them, and the ones whose hands have led to this seed being spilled on the ground. Correct the Hollowborn?
There are fewer souls. There are more vessels. It is simply equaling of the process.
So it doesn't bother you to end them?
I feel more remorse in putting down a slathering hound. A wict? Less than a mongrel in its misery. Murder is a kindness, not a crime. Always has been. I would sooner put the blade to those who are to blame instead. If any spirit should be punished, it's theirs.
And who is to blame? The fields of Durwood are filled with weakness, ripe for those that play with souls, minds. His face wrinkles in a frown. Animancers and their kind. Watchers, too. They bear more of the burden than their victims, and more of the punishment. Every year has seen a new crime. The Saints' War, the Hollowborn, and the Salvation. There is no proof Watchers are to blame for these events. There are a few who can shape a soul in such a fashion. Durance stares at you. And any watcher, any true watcher born in Durwood, would be able to see the crime even if they did not cause it. Silence itself is damning. Oh, why don't you end me then?
Murder you? I would not grant you any of them. The mercy I grant the Hollowborn. You would not be deserving of it.
You'd equate murder with mercy?
Murder is an old word. Mercy is letting a soul fly free to the next body.
Dinim!
True punishment? Ruining someone to their soul. Crack their spirit like you would crack their skulls with a staff. Beat them. Hurt them in mind and body. So their souls become shards. But you leave it inside the vessel, like a bag of glass, to either choke on it or pass it through their bloody stool.
What?
Then, leave it in the body to think on it, like planting a new field with the right seed.
He makes a locking motion with a twist of his hand, then grins, satisfied. That sounds like you committed it to memory.
Many marks may I make upon your flesh, but flame leaves marks that cannot heal. Magran doctrine dictates true punishment is one that remains in memory, in the soul, in the flesh. Even should the victims die, slowly or swift, sometimes by their own hand afterwards, the lesson lingers, burned in their flesh.
Well, that seems harsh.
Have you seen a man branded by flame? He remembers it always, in every waking movement. It is a lesson writ in the only ink and vellum that matters, blood and flesh. One can burn the soul as well. It is an art, and I do not take pleasure in it. But there is more at stake here than forgiveness.
Hey.
Many of Aethys's faith were punished in the purges following the Saints' War. And the ones that harmed children, they suffered worse.
Apparently Houdini does not like fireworks. What do you mean?
We did what must be done. Wherever they were rooted out, their souls reclaimed. And if they couldn't be reclaimed, we ensured they would never inhabit another body.
But if you make sure that a soul can never inhabit another body, doesn't that mean that you create Hollowborn because you remove souls? I wanted to ask you about the region and its history. Do you think there's any tie between the Hollowborn and the Godhammer?
Aethys was the god of rebirth, and his light does not fall on the Deerwood. I've heard some claim it's his doing, his death. It's closed the halls to new souls. I doubt it. The Hollowborn have their roots in the acts of men, women. I feel it.
Keep trouble me and I'm extended tithe bowl for each question. Enough questions for now. Let the roll keep us until the next campfire. I haven't done asking questions though.
Hey.
I hope that old watcher's still there. Been years since I heard anything about him. I was wondering about Aethys.
It makes two of us.
What is there to know about Aethys?
If you're looking to find religion, maybe you want to start with a god that hasn't been burned to dust, but I won't stop you. Aethys, he was a young man with a silver crown. Carried a candle around with him. Sounds like I'm giving a bad eulogy here.
He was a lot of different things to different people, I guess. Rebirth, redemption, light. Out in the country, he's gone. The farmer who helps all things pass, seasons and people both. He watches over the weak, does gone. Sees imbalances made right. You can see why all the copperless rowdies around here might take a liking to someone like that. He was real popular here for a time. These days you won't find too many worshipping Eothas in the open. It's hard to know who still does it in private and who's given up. Feels like I'm the last one sometimes. He smirks. If that's the case, he deserves all the mourning. So, do you still worship Eothas?
In my way. I don't suppose he expects me to show up at his temple these days. Not much left to do for him other than keep his memory alive and keep hoping that he's just been playing a joke on all of us these past 15 years.
Mm. Oh god. This is a candy and chill stream, and I was having milk chocolate and almond with a cocoa nougat filling. And that was a lot of chewing to do. Why worship him then? Well, if it turns out he's not dead and I gave up on him, I'd have betrayed my god twice. Even the god of redemption has gotta have standards. I'd probably be reborn as a fat Aumua's horse. That's not really it though. Not all of it anyway. Guess it's I still believe in the things he believed in. Ugh. Now I got almond pieces stuck in my teeth. I just hope his death doesn't mean the death of those things as well. Sometimes it looks that way. Why did you choose to worship Eothas in the beginning?
Raised that way. My family's been Aothasian going way back. Suppose it wasn't much of a choice at first. Don't know for sure why my family started worshipping him. Probably because of Gon looking after folks like us.
It looks you in the eye, conspiratorial. Could just as well be that my ancestor did something so bad only Eothas could forgive. It'd explain a lot about where I got some of my less respectable traits. Did you only worship him because that's how you were raised?
Mm-mm. There was something I genuinely liked about Aethys. Always. Like he understood people better than the other gods. Knew all our flaws and weaknesses and accepted us for that.
Hey, Puds.
Folks are at their worst when they're afraid. A god like Aethys, he made you realize there was nothing to fear. Made you a better person.
How are you today, Puds? And Happy New Year whenever it happens in your place.
Of course, he goes away for a few years, and look what happens.
What made you think Waydwin didn't speak for Eothas?
Was his actions. Not when he started his rebellion, and not even when he took over Raed Saris. It was when he sent his armies into Deerwood.
Deerwood, okay. Up to that point he was sticking up for his people. That's what Eothas does. At least the Goan part of him. Those farmers were starving and their government didn't lift a finger. I figured if it wasn't Eothas himself, at least he had the right idea. But then he sent armies across the border, even crossed it himself in the end. Word was he was chasing refugees that escaped the rebellion, wanted to punish them, and punish us for allowing them to live here. That just didn't fit for me. Those are the deeds of a vengeful god. Skain or Voedica, maybe. Tell me about the or a man who just lost his sense. I still have trouble believing it, but there's no one left to ask if it's true. Tell me about the purges.
You sure you don't want to talk about something more pleasant? Like the War of Black Trees or the Legacy or something?
Adara looks at you as though he's looking directly into the sun. It's eye-opening seeing just how naked you are when you got no god to protect you. The Saints' War was a hard time to be a Derwooden. People thought it was end times. They'd talk big about how we were gonna defeat a god, but I don't think there was a man from here to the White March didn't think he was gonna die. It does something to you, thinking you're gonna die at someone else's hands. There's a rage that comes, indignation. Imagine a whole country full of that. Might have been the Cold Morn that started it. Town near the border. They let Waidwen march right on through. The rest of Durwood cursed their names till the end of the war. Some say it was the Eothosians there that persuaded the town not to oppose the army. Others said it was just cowardice. It was like the legacy that way. No one knew the real reason, so they just picked whichever one best suited what they wanted to believe. Either way, that town was burning before the first ashes of Eothas hit the ground, and it felt good to the people there to be in control after being so helpless. So the fire spread. A lot of us Eothosians went the way of our god. There were claims from the Church of Magran that she'd actually commended the purges. I found that hard to believe. Sounded to me like the people doing what they wanted, wrapping their god around it like she was a cloak. Then again, that's what I thought about Waidwen. Okay, I want to ask you
What's
about
on your
something
mind?
else. What is it that you want to ask this watcher in Kednua? Just some things about the past, about the war. I'd been thinking I missed my chance to find out what I wanted to know. That old watcher, though, he opens up some new possibilities. I want to ask something about you. If you're sure, what did you do before this?
Oh, other than the war, I never strayed too far from where you found me. Farming, mostly. I was never much for cities. Never learned a trade. In my younger days, I thought I was gonna go preach the word of Aethys. Just in our temple there. My parents encouraged it. I made so much trouble for them growing up. They used to say it'd be best if I got in good with the God of Redemption. Of course, us blowing him up probably didn't help my chances there. But if anybody'd forgive you for blowing him up, it'd be Aethys.
Did the people of Gilded Vale really try to kill you?
They, they did. It was strange timing, because we just won the war. They celebrated when I came home. There was music and dancing. Trumbull used half his grain making this big honey cake. I still dream about that cake. Like having the best lover of your life, but only for one night. And they were all sorry to hear about my brother. It took a while for word of the purges to reach us. Aethasians being murdered in the streets. Cold Morn and the like. No way would they let something like that happen in Gilded Vale. That's what they all said. But the weeks went by and the purges spread. Pretty soon they weren't so sure my brother fought for Deerwood. And they weren't so sure I did. Caught me by surprise after all the celebrating. Should have seen it coming after the tailor said he was gonna fit me for some new clothes, but then all he wanted was my neck measurement.
Really?
Nah, not that last part. But you had to think about it. Says a lot about the place I've been calling home all these years.
Why did you stay for so long in a town that hated you?
Well, I'm sure my parents are still wondering the same thing. The Aeothasian purges were like this madness had come over the town, like a disease. Seems like when you see something like that, your instinct is to wait for it to pass, even when you know it probably won't. The family whose farm I worked on, they had a little Hollowborn girl. And they heard the Animancers had this cure, the Salvation it was called. They went running. This Salvation, they were putting animal souls in children. You might have heard about it. Giving them enough personality to care for themselves. You can guess how that turned out. Matter of time, the children broke down. Became wild things. Monsters.
Oh dear.
Anyway, these farmers put the family dog's soul in their little girl. For a while, the girl, she's making eye contact, she's feeding herself, albeit in a kind of messy way. And one day she snaps. They found her gnawing on her brother's bones. Had to chain her up, put her in a cow pen.
Oh dear.
Well, the mother, she wouldn't have anything to do with the girl after that. But the father, he'd visit every day. Feed her chickens, toss water on her once in a while to get the dirt off. Most of the village, they'd whisper about him. Poor man, they'd say, sick with grief. He was just waiting for his daughter to look up one day and recognize her papa. He was waiting for her to get better. Didn't understand that at the time, of course, but these days I think about him a lot.
Oh. Do you have any family? Just my parents now. They took a ship back to Deer when the purges started. wanted me to go with them, but I didn't see things like they did. Been a long time since I've seen them. I really should visit, but for some reason I haven't much felt like leaving home. Good thing they chased me out, or I might have never left.
What's
Okay,
on your mind?
let's keep moving. Now we're gonna talk to what's
Sure.
his face, and then we're done talking. Alois looks at you with a quiet attentiveness. How may I be of service? How long were you in Gilded Vale? He shrugs, fidgeting with the hem of his sleeve. Not much longer than you. As you saw, it was hardly the haven that it had been advertised. Tell me about Edir. I've been gone for more than a year now, but I suspect I always think of the forests and fields of Edir as home. We have thousands of years of history and tradition behind us, and there's a sense of dignity and responsibility that comes with that. He frowns. Of course there's baggage as well. Our imperial past is still fresh in the minds of many, as you may have noticed here. Has it been difficult to adjust to the Darwood? People here are informal, hot-blooded. His mouth twists into a wry smirk. More attentive to insult than to duty, but as long as one avoids provocation, it's easy enough to get along. He steeples his fingers. I've gotten accustomed enough to keeping my thoughts to myself, anyway. Any thoughts on what I should do next? Well, you're in charge here, and as far as I'm concerned, any place is better than Gilded Vale. His eyes start to dare. No offense. That's all.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
We can continue on then. Yeah. Oh, that's why. Because I've been. I see. Go, Wizzy Man, go! Why are you always in front of us anyway?
There's a lesson to be taught.
Come on, people, do this. Oh, don't engage. Okay, so that is once per encounter. Good.
Yeah? Sure.
At the center of a ring of jagged stone, this boulder.
I'll let Margaret's fire
I'll teach you a lesson.
Uh, the center of a ring of jagged stone, this boulder casts long shadows across the sand as the sun moves overhead. What's this? Huh. More Fulvanos travels. While traveling west towards Gilded Vale, I encountered a fellow traveler of some considerable intelligence, and we engaged in pleasant conversation. It came to light that the poor fellow had the most execrable pair of boots upon him. I gave him one of my spare sets that he might better appreciate Vailian craftsmanship. May they serve him well, for he said he intends to cross the wilderness known as the Black Meadow. I cannot imagine it is a pleasant place.
Laying low.
Wrong button again.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? Oh, we have to go all the way around. Never mind, let's all go together. After several days' journey, it seems it is time at last to part ways with my traveling companion from New Haemar. A pity we could not see the compass together, but perhaps he will have as grand a time in Girin's grasp. I have given him my gloves for safekeeping, for I will hardly need them in such fine weather. This Fulvano fellow seems to be giving away all his belongings. Fish and clumps of seaweed, bright green with heat, roil in the stew. It tastes pleasantly salty. Why did we taste this lady's... well, I guess it's a lady. You find yourself facing a towering Aumua woman. Her skin is the warm gold brown of a dying sunset, with pale fish-white patches at throat and hands. Wavy red-brown hair, pulled into tight braids around a stripe of bare skin that follows the curve of her skull, flows down over her broad shoulders.
Hail, traveler.
She regards you calmly, evidently unsurprised to find you here at the edge of her camp by the water. Have you come for medicines and craftworks to share a fire? She gestures at the large cauldron nearby. Who are you? My name is Ranga. I lived in Gilded Vale a time, working as a healer and a midwife. Perhaps you've been to that place. You'll understand then why I might choose to come south. In any case, it is far more comfortable here by the shore, where I can hear the water, and I still get visitors from time to time. Perhaps you're in need of something. Alfra sent me here. She says that you know some way to ensure that her child is not a hollowborn. More of Lord Raedric's frightened flock. She nods slowly. You are kind to come all this way. Poor Alfra must be beside herself. Imagine she gave you something for payment. Whatever it is, you keep it. I don't need coin. I need you to do something for me instead. Ranga points inland. There's a Sorib tribe to the northeast, led by one of their priests. Tan was exiled from there some time ago, and their scouts still lurk about this place, waiting for an opportunity to end his life. The Sorib lets out a rattling squawk, head drooping. One day I will have to go for supplies, and I will come back to find my assistant slain. How will I help anyone then? She shakes her head. You rid me of this nuisance, and I will do what I can for Afra, and throw in something for you too. I had to kill the Soribs on the way here. They won't bother you anymore. Truly? You are very efficient with your favors. Here, something for your trouble. She nods and claps her hands once. Good, then I shall set my full attention now upon the remedy for Afra. I will get started on the mixture, but I need one more ingredient. Some spores from the creatures in that cave there. She points just north of her little stretch of beach. Sporlings, they call them. It is a useful material. I need one for the mixture. You're welcome to any others if you find. I'll go find some. Good. I will prepare the rest while you're gone. Once you return, it should not take very long to finish. Dank spores! Dank spores! Mr. Wheezy Man, you should not be the first to move. First in...
Here's a lesson to be... Here's a lesson to be taught.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Sure. I'll teach you a
Guys,
lesson.
could we please make sure that the right people are in front?
That looked like it hurt.
You heal people, yes? Where is he? There.
Beyond seek.
Are you guys even doing anything?
Lava will be on seek.
Sure.
Hey,
Is there? There it is. Right? Formation. Is there any way I can party? No? Make the formation for the party.
Hey there. Sure.
that's not very
It's
helpful.
the dank spore! Dank spore. Not that one, please. Not that one either. This one.
Lava
You. Mark.
will be on seek.
Francis!
That's not very helpful.
Hey there. Hey there.
Just a bow. Moss and mold cover the bones like a blanket. They smell earthy and wet.
Sure.
Did I already? No, I didn't. What is this? Carol Golan. Some silver, something or another. Did I get the dank spore though? Also, this is not the right... Ghibli, please tell me. How do I set up... Oh god. How do I set up their formation? Like, where in the formation they are. How can I set up their formation? Like, where in the formation they are?
Yeah?
Like,
How may I help?
I
Hey.
want to put him at the very front of the line, and then these other guys at the behind him. Like in this formation mode, but there we go. Okay, let's see. First you and a bear. Let's go like this. And then these three dinkuses all the way behind. So am I now using it? Yes.
All right, then.
Hey there.
Yes, this is much better.
Hail, traveler.
Careful with those sporlings. They have a way with the mind. Ranga taps her temple lightly. It's why the spores are so useful, really. I have some spores here. So you do. Excellent. Give one here and I'll add it to the cauldron. This should not take long. The mixture is ready. Take this to Alfra. Tell her to drink it before bed, as it induces sleep. She should find herself more energetic in the mornings. Tell her to eat more fish and cheese. The potion will sustain a healthy appetite. Grant her strength. She is a rather frail woman from what I remember of her. Wait, I thought this was a cure. I can tend to ailments of the body. I cannot cure an affliction of the soul. Certainly not one inflicted by the gods. Ranga crosses her arms. I have explained many times. People will believe what they want. So let her believe. Perhaps that will help. Faith is a powerful thing. In the meantime, she will feel much improved, and if her child should not be claimed by the legacy, then it will be born healthy. That I will promise. Ranga, you're nothing but a charlatan. Nonsense. I am many years now a midwife. What I am not is a worker of impossible miracles. If you want to do something about the legacy, I'll tell you this. Better to deal with Lord Redrick. It is his punishment which drives these women to me. I have done what I can, as promised. Tell Afra I wish her well.
Mm-hmm.
I see. That's better now. That stupid wizard won't be running in head first, you know. And I have scouted this whole map. Good. Can I go straight to Gilded Vale? Yes, I can.
Easy does it.
Wrong button again. I haven't been there yet, no.
How do you do?
You were some time away. I worried you wouldn't return. Is that it? Have you brought it? Arthur looks at you hopefully. What did Ranga say? Yes, I have it. Here it is. You really did it. Oh, bless you. Bless you. I don't know what I would have done without you. Now my baby will be safe. Arthur beams at you. I can't thank you enough. Wait, you should know something about that potion. Arthur blinks, looks at the vial. What do you mean? It doesn't do what you think. Ranga says it'll make you feel better, but that's it. But that's... Arthur's happiness quickly fades. But everyone said... She looks away. I should have known. I've been so stupid. How could I think... I'm sorry. I wasted your time. Uh... You don't know that your child will meet the same fate. Perhaps this is best left to chance. I don't know. Uh, got to see the ocean, so it wasn't so bad. Arthur looks up at you sharply, expression bleak. But she doesn't say anything. She reaches up to wipe away a tear, and is quiet for another long moment. Thank you for telling me the truth, she says at last. Here, take this. You can keep what remains of Rango's payment too. And take this as well. It's Hathor's. I've been holding on to it, but I think it'll do you more good. I suppose all I can do now is pray. Perhaps the gods will be kind. Hollowborn means our death. Oh dear. Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Mm. Who that? Hold, madam, but a moment. A wooden man waits upon the road, clad in a green cloak. He strides forward to meet you as you approach, and at a closer distance his features are revealed for those of a younger man, though lined with weariness. He appears to be favoring his left leg as he walks, and there is a dark stain upon the fabric of his trousers under the knee. Even so, he greets you with a polite bow. It seems that you have done dear Alfra a great service. The man nods toward the nearby house. Anslake's compass is a dangerous place, and yet you were willing to venture there to help her. Gilded Vale needs such courage in these dark times. Stout hearts, willing to do what is necessary to save the people. He turns to look out over the village. Can I count you among that number? Who are you? Only a man determined to see Gilded Vale restored to its former glory. There was a time, stranger, when Gilded Vale was worthy of its name. The wheat shone like gold on the hills, and the village and the village's people lived well. I don't know about the golden crops, but there were less flies anyway. And what has become of it now? Whatever has caused the blight upon our lands, it is not the fault of its people. Redrick looks to punish us for crimes we have not committed, and in turn he is blind to his own. I am not, and he will pay for what he has done. I, Kolsk, swear it by the flame. Like many tyrants, he has surrounded himself with stronger men and women for fear of retribution. The man smiles thinly. And so you are warned. If you would press on despite that, however, I wonder if you might not help one another. What is it you want me to do? The man nods, standing a little straighter. It is a grim task that I ask of you, but I assure you there is no other option. Lord Redrick must be stopped. Too long has Gilded Vale suffered under Redrick's madness. He would cure Waidwen's legacy by ensuring there are none alive in the village to be afflicted. I fear his own wife, Ygritte, may be at risk. The man has no mercy in him. We have not stood idle. My people and I breached the defense. God, the reading is so. Ugh. We have not stood idle. My people and I breached the defenses, intent on ending Redrick's rule ourselves. We entered through the sewers under cover of night, but we were routed. His face darkens. There are dark creatures down there in the dungeons, the work of Redrick's Animancer. It falls to you. Lord Redrick has called for further reinforcements, and soon there will be no stopping him. Our time grows short, and in this hour I must beg assistance where I can. He's going to owe us more than some rubble-strewn plot of land after this. Fling him from the ramparts, or else cut his head from his shoulders. I care not. Once his throne lies empty, Gilded Vale will have the stewardship that it deserves. I will find Redrick and deal with him. Then I commend you on your courage, and thank you for your assistance. But I would not send you onward without due warning. Redrick's hold is crawling with soldiers and sellswords, all loyal to Redrick. They will not take kindly to intruders. In truth, they will be all the more alert for our failed efforts. A frontal assault would be unwise. If you would brave it, you could follow our steps, and seek out the entrance of the sewers at the eastern edge of the moat. He looks away. But several of my men were captured. It may be the entrance has been found, and sealed anew. Those men were under my command. I would be in your debt if you found some means of helping them. Once you make it inside, seek out my old friend, Nedmar. He is the High Priest, Baratheon, now that the Shining God is fallen. A good man in difficult circumstances. He will listen to reason. Durance chortles, nearly choking on his own disdain. Shining God. He never shone so brightly as when the bomb took him. The moniker is obsolete now. Ash does not shine. It's like if someone was to call you the attractive priest, Durance. Nedmar can help you reach Redrick, but he resides in the upper level of Redrick's hold, protected by guards and mercenaries. You will have to keep to the shadows if you mean to reach him without alarming the entire keep. Thank you for the advice. I will make good use of it. I consider it a blessing from the gods that I have found someone that understands honor and duty. Redrick's hold lies past the eastern wood, not far to the east. May Magrin bring you victory, friend. I wish you luck. I remember that being quite difficult, so not gonna do it yet. Hey, Genie Eyes, how are you today? Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Sorry, my face was full of chocolate. I have some chocolate, some um, sweet bread, I guess, and some just normal candy. I'd like to report a murder, do I? The magistrate raises a brow. As is your duty, what has happened? The man called Nonton has killed his friend Pearlie out in the wilds. A cruel and cowardly deed, if indeed it occurred at all. What evidence do you have? I had a vision of the victim's final moments. I saw the crime unfold. Vision? Arrogate sighs. We do not take such accusations lightly in these parts. Next time you feel inclined to jest about such things, I would suggest that you reflect upon the risks involved. He looks pointedly at the tree. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to work. Oh well. Nom, nom. Nom, nom. Nom, nom, nom. Nom, 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 nom. Oh, that was a loud one. And we will rest here. And I will go to the bathroom. I will be right back.
Hey there.
Hey there.
Sure.
Sure. Can I go to Kednua from here? No. How do I get to Kednua? From this way?
You must gather your party before
Oh,
venturing
come on,
forth.
guys. There we go. Yeah, my throat is hurting, and you know, I'm a bit on the sickly side, which is typical because I always, you know, I don't get sick very often, like sick. I get headaches and migraines, but I don't get the flu.
Hey there.
That's it!
Lava will be on seek!
Show him. Yeah?
Lava will be on seek!
Ooh, you made him explode into meat chunks. Beautiful.
Hey there.
Not a bad haul today. What's your road, Willem? I'm itching to try out on the new blade. Hey, Graf, everybody, we got company. You will also have be having a little bit of death, I think. Good, killed that guy. Oh, you're in the middle of everything again. You're worthless, priest man. Totally useless. What am I paying you for anyway?
That's it!
Show him how it's done!
Ah. Get up, you lazy bum.
Hey
Next
there.
time, don't die. Jeez. Someone carved the initials TRS into the log. What does that mean? I'm having meatballs for dinner. Greasy chicken bones rattle around the bottom of this crate.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. This guy needs to learn some better spells. He's useless. Bear, are you even attacking?
And that's how it's...
Ooh. We're gonna need some magic here in this house. Up here in this here house. Yes, dog. What up?
Yes. Lava will be on seek.
Why do
Bullseye.
people always do the... Oh, that was easy. Do the shooting of the fireworks so early on? Like, seriously. It's barely 7 in the evening. Yes, you're by law allowed to start shooting at 6, but really, why do you want to start shooting at 6? Oh, hello, stag. Can't kill it. A spare bedroll is laid out in this tent, but there's no sign of kith. What's a kith? What's a kith, precious? I wish these magics were actually it per encounter rather than per rest.
Here's a
I mean,
lesson
I
to be-
guess it would be too easy, but
Mm-hmm.
I just find it annoying that I have to rest all the time. Just to regenerate my spells. I think they changed it in the second game. So that it is actually per encounter.
Moe Ixi.
Hey, Dogface! What up?
That looked like it hurt.
We... Hey, dog. Hey! Mwah. Are you a brave little dog who ain't afraid of no firework?
Sure. I'll teach
I'll teach you a
you a
thing or
lesson.
two. Oh. Or a lesson. Lesson is fine too.
Yeah? Sure. Hey there. Hey there. And that's how it's done.
Sword Coast Legend has actually like like no mana or any sort of limitations to how many skills you can use other than cooldown. Cooldown is like the limiting factor in that game. Game paused. Ah, that's why.
Hey there.
I'm talking about Sword Coast Legends because
there.
I've been playing it a little bit yesterday and today. So, feel my scatter crawling between the beast's teeth.
That's it!
Oh, you're such a good dog. You ain't afraid of no fireworks. You're such a good dog. Such a good little dog. I should probably look at all the gear that I've been picking up. She ain't got no boots, for example. And a new bow. Fine war bow. Yeah, let's put that on. Let's see. Boots. Of Constitution +1. Maybe you need them. Of Will +9. I guess you can have Will. Reflex healing bonus.
Hey there.
Hey there. All these dragon bones. Wonder if they're gonna be important at all. Dragons, I mean.
Close up.
Hey.
That's it!
There's something here that works.
Why aren't you knocking him down? Knock that one down then.
Hi. Yes?
Yeah?
Lavaru beyond seeking.
Whose side are you on?
Oh, did I act? Oops. Oopsie doopsie.
Hey.
What is this? Second chance. Oh, that's why he keeps coming up back up when, you know, he falls down. I need to position you better. That's much better. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
This is gonna end badly.
I'll teach you a lesson. Yeah!
What is going on?
Hi.
Sucked! Oh, poopers.
Most in. Let's have it out! Let's have it out!
There's no way he's gonna survive this. Oh
Most
man.
inconvenient.
How did this end up so bad? Ah. Wait, which save? Save 6:55 p.m. this one. Yeah, I think I may have. Well, Durance should like it, right? I mean, he's the burning god
Hey there.
feller.
I'll teach you a lesson. Yeah!
Ah! There's a lesson to be taught.
Yeah? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think that was a lot of killing I did as well, so
Hey.
I'm sad now. I need to save more often. I need to go with the save after every goddamn fight tactic.
Hey there.
What?
Hey there.
Maybe we also should rest, simply because I need to get the spells back, because, you know, spells are good for us. There we go. Can we somehow lure them? If I shoot
Hey.
him.
And that's how it's done.
Nope, both of them are coming. Okay, you and Bear, you
Hey.
go. You do this one. You start doing that one. You do this one. else can you do? This one.
Moe Ixi Ana.
Lava will be on seek!
What?
What else can we do? More battles. Hey, you leave Priestman alone, guy.
Hey, lava will be on seek! Lava will be on seek!
Gotta have something here that works.
That's better. Oh, okay. I'm in combat. There we go. What's that? Trees and shrubs have grown up around these ancient bones, shrouding this monument to Gallowayne beneath their leaves. Excuse me. I never play as mages in these sort of games because I just find them extremely difficult to play. I don't understand them, I don't understand their skills, I don't understand what they need in terms of anything really.
How may I help? Hey.
Would be nice to someday, you know, try a mage, but why do they have to be so difficult? Archers and rangers are so easy. You get a pet, you murder things with your bow.
Hey there.
You need dexterity. And if the game has agility, then you also get agility. You know? Simple. I like simple. I am simple.
That looked like it hurt.
Oh yeah, I didn't put on... I'm a fool. Such a fool. Alright, no. I hate inventory management. Maybe I should start playing with traps. Oh, poor dog. Just put him in there. Ah. Yeah, where is Heimdall anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Heimdall is always gone when you need him. To do inventory management. Hey Stagalicious. Hey dog. What you barking at, dog? Destroyed cart, abandoned camp. Shrine of Gallowayne. I guess there's really nothing. Doing some bizarre. Oh, he was going to have a dinner with his parents. That was it. Hey dog. What you so sad about? Hey. Hey. These bones feel as hard as stone yet surprisingly light. We should make armor out of it. Hello? Just off the side of the path into Caed Nua stands an imposing figure, a tall, thick-set Aumaua, clad in worn armor and peering up at the outer walls of the keep. In his hand is a small piece of charcoal, and it works feverishly at taking notes upon a small scrap of paper. More than once he has to reach up to prevent his colorful cap from falling off his head as he gazes upward. That moldy brickwork must be fascinating. The man looks over at you, blinking in surprise. His face splits in a wide and very toothy grin, and he waves the parchment in greeting.
It is. Well, not the wall itself, perhaps. The construction is very traditional. There are names scratched upon some of the bricks. Just there. Workers and masons, I expect. Carving a little immortality for themselves. It's a fine keep, Caed Nua. 2 centuries to its name, and abandoned for nearly as long.
Oh,
But the truly interesting part is in there, and I haven't had much luck in reaching the keep itself. I hoped to find the master of this place, a man by the name of Meerwald, but it seems that he either holds his privacy most dear, or else has been devoured by his house guests.
what do you want from Meerwald?
Knowledge. Or, to be less clever about it, a certain text. I've come in search of a great treasure, you see. Not gold or silver, but the Tanvi Oratoa. You might call it the Book of Virtues. It's a sacred text of Rauatai, but we possess only a small fragment of it.
A year I've journeyed in search of the rest, and I've found evidence suggesting that the original lies there, beneath the keep. I want to ask Meerwald if he knows of it. And you, my friend? Why are you here? I too wish to speak to Meerwald. Truly, then perhaps we can help one another. The grounds are infested with all manner of beasts. I've never seen the like. I didn't want to risk it alone, but you seem capable. Together I'm sure we could manage it, and then we can both ask our questions of Mirwald. Sure, let's go meet him
Excellent.
then.
Lead on, my friend, and I will be at your heels. Ah, wait. Speaking of that, I ought to warn you first. Wondrous teeth, I nearly forgot. I have, at times, been followed. It began in Adir, and in Exometal they attacked outright. I believe they do not wish for me to find what I am looking for. I say believe, but I have been told as much by one of my would-be assassins. I pay them little mind. Humorless sorts in long robes. But it's why I bought the sword, you see. And it's only fair that you should know.
What are a few assassins between friends?
I'm glad you're not discouraged. Come then. Who knows what we will find inside?
Hey there.
Another party member, yay! Now let's see then. Where do you fit into all of this? No, Bear needs to be up front. Maybe like that?
Hey there.
Also, let's save.
How may I help?
He has no spells.
Hey there.
Going to have to go and rest at some point.
Once more through the gates. With more success this time, I hope.
Always success.
Brave Dalfilat believe.
I'll teach you a lesson.
For Takoa!
Oh, wait, what did that say? One per rest. What does that even do? Oh my god, I don't like this guy.
Hey there.
He's a strange class and I don't understand it. I don't like it. Frail lengths of rope and a few flint chips are scattered across this workbench. Lovely. The hedges grow in shaggy heaps shot through with weeds and tall grasses.
Brave Dalfilat believe.
I'll teach you a lesson.
You're in the middle again, where you should not be.
I fear we've lost the angry one.
We have lost the angry one, yes.
Yeah? Yeah?
Fine, we'll have a little rest. Again. So much rest. I don't like it. Only weeds grow in this
Hey
dusty
there.
patch. We can go in there. Don't want to go in there, I think. Not yet, anyway. I want to explore out here first.
Brave Dalfilat believe.
What?
Yeah?
Lizard skins, knuckle bones, and teeth of various sizes lie among the weeds. Tangled wires and broken gears litter these wooden boxes. Oh.
Bullseye. Show him how it's done!
What does this even do? I don't understand.
Yeah?
One side of the pillar is graven with hundreds of whorls and ridges. Even under a layer of grime and moss, the Adra gleams.
Sure.
Houdini! What up? You haven't even eaten all of your goodies, dog. What kind of dog are you? This trapdoor has been battered by the elements. Tugging on the rusted handle only produces a heavy rattling.
That's it.
Oh great, it's immune to arrows.
I'll teach you a lesson. Exactly what I was going.
Leave our village! We've done nothing to you! You can't do this!
Spectral smoke churns all around you. At first, you can see nothing except the haze, but gradually you make out a wizened, hunched shape of an old elven man. His face and bone-thin arms are smeared with paint. He shakes his head, spitting the words at you.
This is our village, our home! The Nine Claws have lived here almost 50 generations. We were here long before your kind brought war to our lands. You can't just burn it all!
You can't tell whether he's squinting through the smoke or scowling at you. He shudders with a cough.
Have mercy, soldier! Our warriors have all gone! You can't burn us all because of them!
After a pause, he draws back and gapes at you in horror, seemingly in response to something you didn't actually say. But illusory tongues of flames flicker at the corners of your vision. He coughs. He reaches out to you and opens his mouth to say something, but all that emerges is a series of violent coughs. He falls to his knees, choking on the thickening smoke. Flames overtake the vision as you back away.
Hey there.
So there's a way in there. What are you doing here? And there's a way in here. Let's see this way first. Let's
Keeping an eye out.
actually see if we can't spot like stuff. The shelves creak under the books. Many of the covers are mottled with mildew. Nasty. Cobwebs bind the remains of a broken alembic, a cracked mortar and various shattered bottles and vials to the table. Rats skitter among the broken stairs. guess we can't really do anything here. Nope. Oh, what's that? The sour odors of rancid grain and spoiled food permeate the air. Dust and rusted utensils cover the countertop. Wait, character sheets. Set AI. Come on, guys. Don't shoot that much. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is like... Why did they hide it like that? He's going to have to be defend self. Because he usually gets himself killed, so...
Hey there.
Oh my god.
Do you think he'd be mad if we sat in his chair? I mean, he doesn't have to know.
Sure. Hey there. Sure.
Maybe he needs to not be actively looking for a fight.
Hey there.
What?
Come on, save Mr. Wizzy!
Roll out.
Oh, never mind.
Show him how it's done!
Either it suddenly got extremely more difficult, or I'm doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Bullseye.
Let's fix this, shall we? You are not aggressive, you defend self. And you are also at defend self.
Yeah?
Guys are totally useless.
Brave thou not believe.
I'll teach you a lesson.
Hey, dog. Hey.
Roll Act 10!
You summoned skeletons, but we're no longer in combat. Good going, Mr. What's your face? Spiders have taken up residence in the empty shelves. How lovely. As you come to the end of the great hall, you perceive an inviting warmth radiating from the grand throne wrought out of marble. Its masterful artistry out of place amidst the castle's more practical stonework. The veiled face of a woman is carved above the throne's backing, watching over the room with hollow eyes. At your approach, you feel the warmth fluctuate, as though stirring. A voice rings out from the carving, permeating the fortress through stone and air.
Another
Oh,
watcher in Cadnua, glowing very brightly indeed to these eyes. What strange happenstance.
who's that speaking?
I'm sorry if I startled you. I'm afraid my manners have been slipping. I haven't had much opportunity for introductions lately. In any case, I assume you're here looking for Meerwald.
Yeah? Tell me more about Merwold?
He was a great man. He came here one day, young with long hair and polished armor, and he banished the dark things that had come to lurk in this place after centuries of neglect. He could see the beauty of this place, the way it had been. So he claimed it for his own when no one else would take it. We worked together to restore it.
Okay.
But he began to grow distant some time ago. He never told me why. He retreated deeper and deeper into the keep, never leaving, sending servants for food, hiding himself from my sight. The restoration stopped. Now, to look at the place, you'd never know the progress we'd made. In most places, it's worse than it ever was. And all I can do is watch it crumble around me.
Any idea where I can find Merwold?
I can feel his presence faintly somewhere deeper inside the keep. But he uses his gifts to confound me, and my senses are dulled while he does so. I only wish I could know his mind.
Are you imprisoned in that throne?
Imprisoned? At times it feels that way, I suppose. But it's more that I reside here. The throne was brought up from the ruins, one of the first things they found. As a last favor to a dying woman, the Earl arranged for me to be moved into it. Audra is an accommodating vessel for a soul.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's not as confining as it seems. I can feel the whole keep from here, and all things that are tied to it. There's something about this throne and its construction. Or maybe it's something about this place.
Or maybe it's just something about you. Bye.
Take care in your search. Many dangers lie in wait here.
Okay. I was going over here though.
Hey there.
The grey and brown pelts of mice flit between the boards. The brazier's chains are rigid with rust. Let's go upstairs first. It looks like the game wants me to go in the door, so I want to go upstairs instead. It feels as if cobwebs are the only things holding this rickety old mess together. Something has made a nest out of old straw and mattress ticking. Ew. Well, this wasn't much of a anything. They're rigid with rust. Mother!
Been out playing soldier again, have we? Go wash up and come help me shuck these peas.
As you draw nearer, the apparition in front of you resolves into an elven woman. Her stringy hair is tied back, and she tugs at a loose thread on her apron. There's a distant, hollow look in her eyes until she notices you. Her frail smile descends like a veil over her face. She turns from you long enough to produce a basket that, like her, is shimmering and semi-transparent. And no complaints. You got to eat your vegetable if you want to grow up strong and be a real soldier one day. Just like we agreed, right? She watches you out of the corner of her eye. Soldiers are important.
Soldiers are important people. They defend the weak and punish the wicked. You're too young to understand now, but there are lots of wicked people. People like the man who murdered your father.
Her voice rises and falls as she bends over the basket. She sighs, a spectral strand of hair fluttering. She snaps off a shell with a torn fingernail. And then she crushes another husk between finger and thumb. Remind me what happened to my father.
Before you were born, the Glanfathans attacked settlers like us. They said we'd knocked over some of their special Adra rocks. That's why they call it the Broken Stone War. They got very angry, and so they came into our villages and killed many people. Your father was one of them.
A pod slips out of her grasp, and she jabs the side of her finger with a jagged thumbnail. She says nothing as the skin slowly turns from white to red. He was one of the people the Glenfathans killed. That's what I said. Her voice is low and hoarse, and her hand is frozen over the basket. Something dark and empty clouds over her eyes.
That's why you'll be a soldier one day. To protect and to avenge. Why don't you go back out and play? I'll finish up here.
She drops the basket and turns away, dabbing at her face with the corner of her apron. She stares at the trickle of blood on her finger. Oops. The silver trails of slugs gleam inside the barrels. Oh, nasty.
Praise thou the Lord, believe.
Oh god. He's not doing well.
Lava will be on seek.
Save him!
I shall deal with this one.
Brave thou the Lord, believe.
He's definitely not doing well.
Sure.
Yeah! I'll teach you a lesson. Hey there.
I do hope we're going to be finding
teach
some
you a
more.
lesson.
Sure.
Sacre! Stand still!
I'll teach you a lesson.
Brave thou not believe.
Camping stuff.
I'll teach you a lesson. I'll teach you a lesson.
Proacte!
Hey there.
Because camping stuff are really needed right now.
New orders, Lieutenant. Ready your squad.
Okay, Commander, let's talk. A spectral man arrayed in armor and an officer's cloak studies a single sheet of paper. You can see straight through it to the ducal and Adir insignias on his breastplate. He seems to read over the page several times before looking up at you. When he does, his expression is unreadable.
There's been a change of plans. Take your squad and march south all the way to the bow in the river. Bring a wagon team and a dozen barrels of pitch.
That's totally Brian whatever his face. O'Brien. Oh god, what's his name? Liam O'Brien. His voice falters and he shakes his head. The hand holding the paper drops to his side.
The instructions come from Admeth Hadred himself, which means they might as well have come from the Duke. We're to burn those hut dwellers out. Set fire to the deerwood so they've nowhere to retreat. Cut them down when they come out. Or let them blaze if they won't.
He rolls the orders into a thin scroll. A ghostly sigh forms a mist in front of his lips.
It'll make this even shorter than the broken stone war, all right. And we can only hope it'll discourage future conflicts.
His mailed fist tightens around the rolled paper. He looks at you.
I know this is personal for you. It is for many of us. But understand, we're doing this to end this war, not to continue the last one. Remember that we're flushing out the enemy, not burning villages for sport. Bareth will have his work cut out for him tonight.
You feel nothing when his hand drops to your shoulder.
A simple test.
No, not you.
We'll take those farmers by surprise. Almost time. Di and Heather scouted the village last night. They're rounding up the rest of the party now.
An elven man turns to face you. His cheeks, his forearms, and the cartilage of his long pointed ears are smeared with indigo and blue paints. He grins wickedly beneath a thatch of wild hair.
Don't worry. Everyone remembers the raid was your idea. The Rio had to go along with it after you'd gotten the rest of the clan riled up. No one wants it said that the Nine Claws were too cowardly to stand with the rest of the tribe when the foreigners desecrated our ruins.
His phantasmal fist sails through your shoulder. The Rio? The ragged stripes of paint on his face twist as he laughs. You may not like them, but they're still our elders. For now. A dead grey tooth peers from between his lips. That was clever, drawing the support of the community first. By the time you approached the Rio, they had no choice but to support us. It's very unusual to see an elf who's not like super beautiful. You know, this guy has a dead grey tooth. There's no doubt you'll join their ranks one day, so long as no farmer's pitchfork fells you tonight, he laughs.
The tribes need more leaders like you. Women who value deeds over words.
The ghostly warrior gives you a long, covetous look. His semi-transparent eyes blaze as they crawl over you. Ew. He reaches toward your cheek but stops midway, his splayed fingers quivering as a tremor of doubt runs through him.
You were right. We were too soft when the foreigners first came, and now they humiliate us. We'll be soft no more, and the invaders will learn to leave us alone once and for all.
He drops his hand to his side instead, drawing a notched blade from his belt.
Yeah? Consider it done. Give me a real challenge.
No. Keep away from us. Leave us!
Oh shit. A large liver-spotted man, barrel-chested and paunchy, cowers in the far corner of a room, his white hair a tangled, stringy mess. He covers his face and chest with trembling hands, unable to look in your direction.
Maybe we should come back later?
Are you Merwold? He looks up over his hand, the muscles around his eyes twitching, and begins whispering to himself in sharp hisses, as though having an argument. All at once he stops shaking, a sudden calmness falling over him. His head tilts forward slightly, and he looks you dead in the eye, like a cornered animal about to pounce. His voice turns suddenly raspy.
Mayor Wald isn't here, and he isn't fooled. He has sent for no callers. Be gone, deceiving spirit!
I'm no spirit. Do I look like any spirit you have ever seen?
Mayor Wald will speak with you, but you will maintain your distance, or you'll have me to answer to.
The old man turned his body away and has another muttered, sputtering argument facing the wall. When he turns back toward you, he has taken a confident stance, and his chest is puffed out like a soldier's. A new strength enters his voice.
Come to speak to Mayor Wald. Mayor Wald, whose touch is poison. Mayor Wald, who knows not his effect.
The man's posture folds, and the hands he'd held strongly at his sides a moment ago resume their original tremors. His voice is feeble and tentative. I was told I am a watcher, and that you could tell me more about it. And about a tablet of sorts. Some worth after that. Once you two are finished, of course.
A window. Window to the ether, where spirits dwell. Peer and reach into it. Speak and listen through it. A watcher sees souls, reads them, knows their pasts, souls of the living, souls of the dead, an empath, and the souls see them back. Used it to help beings in both realms, did I. What the gods wanted of me, thought I.
He nods, still half distracted, eyeing the door behind you. He exhales feebly, his breath wheezing.
The gods put me in the world for vengeance, and I obliged.
With a quick spasm, his shoulders straighten and his voice becomes strong.
It was the gods' wishes that we protect those lands. My way was the only way to remove the foreigners.
He tilts his head forward, glowering at you, and his voice is raspy.
Little I knew.
He shrinks down, and he is himself once more. He cradles his face in shaking hands. I was accosted by spirits on my way here. What do they want?
No, no! Forgive me! Forgive me!
Merwold staggers backward, staring off at some imagined phantom. He covers his mouth with his hand, his breath convulsing, his eyes red and exhausted. You seem to have lost your mind a little bit.
Lost? No. Found more of it. Too much. Too much to bear. An awakening.
Allah's eyes narrow as he looks at the old man. How could a simple awakening have driven you to this? What's an awakening?
Many lifetimes we have. Souls enter womb and exit corpse. Carry with them all experiences, all knowledge, all identities. Yet we do not remember. hidden from us. What end? What end? Only the gods know. Certain things can stir memories from lives long buried. Awaken the old memories, the old personalities. Memory, personality, identity, any might resurface. Or all.
He looks again at the door behind you. And I seem to be having a conversation with several of them right now.
Ghosts of the mind. Meyerwald has lost control. Meyerwald's body no more.
He nods sheepish. The spirits I passed, what are they?
Spirits and not spirits. Always whispering to Meyerwald, reminding him of his mistakes. No sleep. Watchers see memories before them, form them from the essence of their own souls. Once Meyerwald awakened, he could not make them leave. Gave them more form, not less.
The spirits are memories from previous lives.
Troubled memories, angry memories, pulling Meyerwald back, reminding him his mistakes. Marauder and soldier, soldier and marauder, how could they know?
He nods, a piteous look on his face. I've seen apparitions like those elsewhere since I became a watcher. Tears well in Merwell's eyes. Oh no, 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 you too? You too! All at once, in spite of his abject misery, his expression changes to one of utmost sympathy. Poor woman, poor woman.
They will take you too.
No. Owlet's eyes dart between you and Merwold. What exactly does he mean? Surely something can be done. You're saying I'll end up like you?
So fragile, the Watcher's mind. So real, his memories. Once awakened, how can he sleep?
He pouts as though holding his mouth closed so that the answer won't escape. At length he nods. Why do these past lives still trouble you?
My fault. All my fault. Soldier and marauder. Soldier and marauder and Meyerwald. No forgiveness for what's past. No undoing what's done. No sleep. No sleep for the Watcher.
He looks at you baggy-eyed and lost.
War there was all around. War of stone. War of tree.
War of Tree. Oh, of course, the Broken Stone War and the War of Black Trees. This was in the early period of Adirian colonization, fighting between the Durwood colonists and the native Glanfathans, you see. But that was a long time ago.
Death we brought to the settler men. We, the 9 claws. Claws of 9. Worse what we did to the women. For love of the gods. The gods' love. For their love.
I met one of your memory spirits. There was talk of raiding a village. Merwold's voice becomes raspy, and he is somewhere else in place and time, speaking to someone unseen.
Hold her down. Head her. Give this Addy a bitch an heir that belongs in Air Glodfath.
Merwold cringes himself again, watching something he can't bear to see, shaking his head over and over. He wails. His soul is marked by flame, and those marks will never heal. His trial has broken him, but better that than to live in weakness. Take your time, it's over now. It was long ago. Continue when you're ready.
The boy. The boy. The baby boy. The boy. Conceived in the raid. Conceived by force. Vessel for marauder. Slain in the raid. Marauder and the boy. Marauder and soldier.
His voice thins to a cracking whisper. Blah, 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 blah. A baby conceived by the raider? What do you mean it was a vessel for him?
For the soul. Marauder's soul. Same soul. One soul. Boy's soul. Marauder's soul. Raised in lies and vengeance. Raised to soldier. Raised for the fire. Born for the fire.
Then that was his mother I met in the keep. She told him his father was killed by the raiders.
You'll get no pity from me. The crimes of the Nine Claws clan in the last war are still unavenged. But the gods are just. They have led me here. In my father's name, every one of you will burn. Light it.
Merwold straightens up, his voice deep. He speaks to some invisible thing. He looks off to his side as if at someone else standing nearby. Aloth looks at the old man in horror. Bathe the usher's crooked ban? What? Merwold's shoulders slump. He rocks back and forth, agitated. He mutters to himself, oblivious to your presence.
Soldier and marauder. Lies and vengeance. And dead villages. All dead. All dead. What for? What for?
He looks at you. I see no reason, just bad luck.
How little we know.
He shakes his head bitterly. Okay, thank you for the hint, Ghibli. How do you tell a spirit from a memory?
Fragmented are memories. Stuck in time. Mindless, cruel, never far.
If I'm awakened to a past life, how would that have happened?
You were reminded of it. Strong memories, lingering lives, they dwell near the surface, waiting to be remembered, waiting to take your mind for their own. Meyerwald sat at his hearth and watched his fire, watched the wood burn. Then came the memory of another fire and burning wood and screams.
His face trembles involuntarily. There must be some way to make these memories go away.
No. Always there. Always remembered. Can't forget. Can't unsee.
I didn't just remember. Someone caused this. They wore masks and spoke of books and keys and a queen. There was a man there. He seemed familiar to me.
Keys of lead. Books of burden. Queens that were. Known to me are they. The leaden key.
The leaden key seems to share an enemy, Rain. Assassins and Watcher Wakers both. They certainly keep busy. What can you tell me about this leaden key?
Secrets. Secrets and deceptions and schemes. Who knows their answers? Not they. Not they. Crossed them before. Hatred of Watchers. Hatred and fear. Much we see. Threat to secrets.
Who is this queen they pray to?
Woodica. Goddess. Crown shattered and body burned. Binder of oaths and grudge holder. Bearer of justice. But whose?
If the leaden key caused my awakening, could they undo it?
Many secrets do they keep. Unawaken? Mayhap. Who else if not they?
Merwold's bushy white eyebrows edge upward. He begins muttering to himself. Just as you are about ready to repeat your question, he speaks. Do you know where I might find the leaden key?
City of Defiance. Never far from the Queen.
I need to go so I can search for this man from the leaden key.
Sleep well. Sleep well.
Merwold nods at you, a look of understanding on his face.
Hold! I know your will die. Your actions were seen. You would sooner betray us to the Adir land thieves than take orders from me.
Before you turn to exit, he tilts his head forward, his eyes lock with yours, cold and dangerous, his voice gravelly. Take it easy, I'm not going to betray anyone.
Your betrayal is for nothing. Your warnings are lost on these foreigners, and their blood will be Gallowayne's tribute this night. I have asked the elders for the honor of claiming your head as my first trophy, and they have granted it. Beg for the Seeker God to grant you a quick death.
Oh, come now, there's no need for that. God, my people are half dead. Oh. Okay, you better run away. Let's see, what can we do with you? You seem to be stuck. Could you move this so he can actually get there? Oh god, you're pretty much dead. Oh lordy, lordy, lordy. He can't see. Up, you're dead. Can you do anything about this? No, you still can't see? Is it because the table is in your way?
Hey there.
Can you see now? You sure can.
Hey.
Sure.
Brave thou
What?
Don't kill him. Ugh. There's a change in the air of the keep. What was thick and suffocating feels to you somehow more breathable, as though yielding to a conquering invader. Merwald's body lies inert. You can feel his soul lingering there, uncertain. There is something unique about this soul in this place, a bond formed in decades of inhabitants and lordship that feels somehow palpable to you, as though even in death the keep knows its former master, and the former master remembers his keep. In your mind's eye, the bond seems to you as a frayed rope, ghostly and alive. Its frayed end is riding like tide pool anemones, and you find that if you concentrate on it, you have the ability to manipulate its strand. Shit. I am playing on normal, Ricky 6, and hello, welcome. What would he want? Would he want to be an eternal warden? Would he want to pass from the world? I mean, this seems just... I don't know what would happen if I did this. Let's do that then. You turn both ends of the rope towards you, bringing them into contact with your essence, and as you do, the fibers turn to copper, and through them an energy is conducted into your being. You are traveling downward now, beneath the place you stand, seeing places dank and cobwebbed and malignant, like some untended garden overgrown with flora and overrun with vermin. Below everything, at the very bottom, you glimpse for an instant some being that you can't quite make out, presiding over it all with brilliant and terrifying power. One image remains in your perception, a circular room with a stone table God, I can't speak, that resembles the sun, in an area guarded by suits of armor that move of their own volition. It is deep, not far from the very bottom. There is a door in that room, invisible to all but the most fastidious of eyes, and beyond it something shimmering, something powerful. As the image fades, you find yourself in Cad Nua once more. Meryl's soul is nowhere to be seen. Well,
Hey there. I see where you're going with that. Give me a real challenge. Consider it done. Give me a real challenge.
let's have a rest. Use the last one and just rest. We can always
I'm
buy
sorry.
more.
I didn't mean to sneak up on you. I just... Well, you seemed preoccupied.
You've just begun to stretch and soothe the aches from your body when you feel Aloth over your shoulder. He looks away quickly when you notice him, kneading his hands into squirming fists. Were you looking at me? You seem preoccupied, Aloth.
Mad old watches, a Coltonaut trail. What's not to worry about?
He laughs uneasily.
I suppose I've just noticed you acting a little, unusual lately. Talking to people who aren't there, remembering flashbacks of your previous life. I just want to make sure you're doing all right.
He seems to be wringing each bead of sweat from his fingers. Stares at a spot on the ground. I guess I don't know what to make of this either.
Then I'm in good company.
Grins.
I should let you rest. It looks like we'll have another full day tomorrow.
Are you flirting with me, Aloth? I don't mind.
Hey there.
A worn book lies on the table, its pages filled with nonsensical scrolls. A sickly sweet smell of rot rises from this half-eaten fruit. Also, we got a new book. I don't know. Unique sword, one-handed. Do you use one-handed swords? You use sabers, but it's also one-handed. This one is only 13 to 19 slash pierce damage. That's not... But it does have all the other things. Let's put it on for a bit. Ooh, that's nice. Does this mean... Oh, he wants to talk to me.
A
Poor...
cruel fate.
Oh. Poor Merwold. He couldn't contend with all that he knew of himself. Cruel fate. I don't think knowledge was the problem. He said that if I can find out what caused this, it might help me. That is true, and there is no such thing in my experience as too much knowledge, Kana smiles. Come, we'll find your answers. Mine, I hope. I'm going
Yes?
to talk a little bit more with him.
But often I think myself alone in loving the land as much as the sea.
W-
What shall we see next, I wonder?
Why does his talking start halfway? It's good to be on the road again. A wanderlust is nothing rare in the people of Rautai. But often I think myself alone in loving the land as much as the sea. Tell me about yourself.
Born in the royal city of Takoa, from which rules the Ranga Nui. There. That is a solemn enough start. I am a lore chanter in the college there. Or at least a student of lore and a chanter both.
What shall I tell? I am Kanarua. Uh, the accent's right, but you don't look like you're from Rautai. Do I not? He grins crookedly. I take your meaning. My family's from Deadfire, like you. But I've never seen the islands. My parents traveled to Rautai many years before I was born. They found more opportunity in Rautai. My mother took to crafting cannons, aspiring pirate that she is, and my father's work with coral caught the eye of someone important, and then the Ranganui himself. The rest followed. What would you like to know? Um, what's a Ranganui? A king, our great king, ruler over all of Rautai. He's led our people well, and he has treated my family very well. My father and he are great friends, as much as one can be friends with a king. Um, what made you leave the college?
Of great teeth was completed. It was all my father had hoped for. The greatest commission he had ever received.
See, I mean, that's so annoying. I was on the usual path at first, theology, the traditions. When the Gate of Great Teeth was completed, it was all my father had hoped for, the greatest commission he had ever received.
Meanwhile, I was neck deep in the writing of a dozen nations, marveling at all the things that lay beyond our borders.
But it was also a sign that Rautai was changing, looking inward. And in so many of those books and records I found accounts of ancient Engwith. The Adurans hold a great hunger for Engwithan relics, and why shouldn't they? It was the civilization from which the Glenfathans learned to read souls. I decided that my third degree would be in history, and that I would study the Engwithans. They were at the heart of so many discussions abroad, so many discoveries. It drew some mockery. We'd watched Adir draw itself into several conflicts with the Glenfathans over these ruins. Takoa had its own concerns. And soon I found it, a section of the Tanvi or Atoha, in an Enduran translation of ancient Egwithan script. Just there, without explanation. It seemed like a gift from the gods. Tell me about the Lord Chanters. My eldest brother thinks we spend our days in song, weaving wreaths from flowers, but the truth is far less exciting than that. The college preserves what knowledge our people have gathered. I would have it said that the Lord Chanters are Rautai, for without them we would have no beginning, no sense of how far we come. We would forget ourselves with every generation. I'm only a student yet, but someday I'll return and tell the keeper what I learned, and she will add my verse to the chant. What is this Gate of Great Teeth? Much as it sounds, a maze of walls like the teeth of some nautical terror. It sits outside the city and guards Takoa from invaders and storms. The storms have always been more trouble. Nui Tanri, the angry titans, throwing themselves against Rautai's shores. Invaders I'm not so sure about, but perhaps I'm like the man who, being dry, throws off his raincoat during a storm. Kana laughs. So my mother would have me believe. Ask all you like. A chanter's purpose lies in the telling of stories, mostly true stories at that. Tell me about Rautai.
Waters, the multi-hued tiles of the rooftops, like a mosaic upon the coast. Sorry.
Oh, Rautai, shall I describe the pearl-white sands, the sapphire waters, the multi-hued tiles of the rooftops like a mosaic upon the coast? Kana chuckles. Sorry. Was there something specific you wanted to know? Tell me about the kingdom of Rautai in general. It's a long journey by ship to the north, past Ixamitl and across the sea. We have settled much of the Gulf and established more recent trading colonies all along the coast. We live as best we can, like anyone else. Our land is plagued by storms, and so we stand together, whatever corner of Rautai we hail from. Otherwise, we'd never survive. Tell me about the city you're from, Takoa.
The Ranganui's palace is there, and we've a fleet of royal ships sitting outside the Gate of Great Teeth. Every so often, you'll hear the roar of a cannon being tested.
Takoa is doubly famed, a royal city and home to the Coral Harbor. The Ranganui's palace is there, and we've a fleet of royal ships sitting outside of the Gate of Great Teeth. Every so often you'll hear the roar of a cannon being tested. I have to reread this because they start in the middle of this, a sentence sometimes, and just, skipping over a big part makes me annoyed and confused. The finest ships in Rautai, and so the world, are anchored there, and some of our brightest minds toil away at the artillery. My mother, for instance, Kana grins brightly. Myself, I have no talent with gunpowder. Takoa is also home to the Lore College, of course, and we get a great many people traveling long distances to speak with the Lore Keeper, or else hear the chants and peruse the books. At least that is how it was when I was younger. Things were a little different when I left. How so? You might say the winds are changing. The Pahari, they are traditionalists in a way. The Ranganui's son stands among their number. Talk at the dinner table has changed from how far a fleet Rautai ship might sail to how well defended our borders are, how far we have turned from the old ways. Then talk turns to barring Adiran and Vailian merchant ships, and Kana sighs. Things were difficult when I left. There was much more arguing among the elders. I trust the king has kept the peace, but I worry sometimes that things have taken a turn for the worse. It's sensible to look to your people's own best interest. Of course, but I can't help but wonder if this is in our best interest. If we isolate ourselves from every other land, what do we sacrifice in exchange for our momentary safety? But that's Rautai's lesson to learn. Perhaps I was foolish to think I could change its course on its behalf. Oh, I wasn't done talking, but I guess you were. What's this?
How may I help?
Do you want to talk? No.
What?
Do you want to talk? What must you say now? I had
If
questions.
doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
Tell me about Magrin. Oh, you know her. You must. He gives a bitter chuckle, then his tone evens out. She's a many-headed bitch. Ooh. What is your view on Magrin?
She's a goddess, as fickle as they come, and with all the failings you'd expect of an empress and a whore. Too many eyes, too many wants, too much to hold on to. That's the failing of a god. More aspects than words to describe her, like most of them. A god with many nations to oversee, only serves to spread herself too thin.
Oh dear. Although flame rarely crosses twice, so perhaps that is the only truth that she embraces. Who knows? Gods get greedy. When it comes to fire, fire is God's hunger. What are her aspects? Durance begins to count on his fingers, chanting it off. War transforms, fire consumes, trials purify, warfare, fire consuming, purification, and most of all transforming. Trials as well, but all things are put to the test anyway. A trial can consume, purify, transform. They are all linked, although at its heart is the flame, and the flame is what matters. It is the source of all things. Guess they should have started with that, eh? Any fool around a campfire knows that. Without flames, fire, we would have made little progress in the dark. To hear some of the inner fires tell it around the hearth and bellows, even in the halls of Ashfall, you'd think that fire brought life to man, and that fire was Magran. Some of the older texts say she rubbed her hands together and they burst into flame, and another god shafted her like a poker. There are different perspectives on her then. He grunts. Mine is only one side among many. Turin's frowns, pauses, then his eyes take on an eager gleam. But here's one. I can speak to how the losing side sees her, and that should tell you enough. Let me speak to what an adherent sees. And what does an adherent see? The adherents have a proper, polite translation for her. Excellence in war. Tactical discipline. That's why they lost the fucking swearing. That's why they lost the fucking colony, of course. They were properly still that quoting that while we had them bent across the decks. All their guns and cannons are fine, but useless when your staff is cracking light into their skulls, dispensing red gifts left and right. Durance's fist tightened and he laughs. Durance called that elevation, divine awareness. Those words are as welcome as shit on one's boots, and that's all they took back with them while they were running, shakes his head. A lesson learned at the wrong time. Almost feel a pang of sympathy for them. Almost. Lesson? What do you mean? The title of a god is in knowing a god, adhering to words rather than walking the path, testing yourself in the heat of it. Walk until the words are stripped away, and you feel it burning in your heart. That is the lesson. That adherent politeness, that pretty adherence to the word of Scripture as they saw it, that burned their ships, scarred them, kept them running throughout the Deerwood campaign. Divine awareness. There's no true faith in waiting to be tested. The best in battle have already shit themselves plenty. Shit themselves until they're dry and can focus on the killing. Enough about Magron. I have other questions.
I suspect the answers will seed more questions.
I wanted to know more about you. Where are you from?
Where I hail from? From one of Magran's fires. A cathedral. Ashfall. Made of blackened trees.
Duran sighs, his hand tightening on the staff for a moment, then relaxes.
I studied the scriptures there. The fires carved into the land. The trunks of the burnt trees. And in the factories where the rifles and cartridges were shaped. All are chapels in other devotions.
Other devotions? Turns nods. For Magron, any fire is enough for worship, physical or not. A blacksmith's anvil, a craftsman's bench, all arenas where fire is waiting to be born. Duran snaps his finger. It just needs a spark, like an alchemical fire, or a spark to cartridges, to speed them to their purpose. Their purpose? Duran tilts his head, thinking, well, their purpose then. It was many thens ago. Duran scratches his beard. Beard was a little brighter than now. But yes, cartridges, guns, all had a purpose. And that purpose was punching holes in mages and letting their pompous air hiss out. Duran gives a half smile, then a nod. Woke their kind right up and kept them staring at the ceiling in the dark instead of sleeping, that's for certain. Aloth rolls his eyes. Pompous air indeed. A little violence as an accounting, an answer for unchecked power. Well, Magron gave an answer for that. Magron puts soldiers and mages on equal footing? Durance nods again. Mages were troublesome in that time. Firearms made every man a mage, and the caster's pretty arcane shield was little match for them. It turned each comer into a beast that could spit fire. It leveled the field of battle, that's for certain. Made many a mage a grave. Tell me about Ashfall. Durance grunts. You're more curious about it than most of Magron's faithful. Well, what else can you tell me about Ashfall? What's more to tell? Durance frowns, his hand tightening on his staff again, his fingers seeming to sink into the wood. It is one of the greatest fires of Magron, the High Seat, shrugs. Some say the blackest. Not of evil, but of ash, all that remains after fire has fed. I called it a cathedral before. That's not the full truth of it. It's more a battlefield. It lies in the heart of the war of black trees. Its timbers built from the burnt forest there, each timber blessed by fire, and one of Magron's greatest battles. Many of us helped shape the war effort there, with flames and firearms. What is the cathedral like? Massive, beautiful, blessed by the goddess. Flame cannot strike it twice. Durance's eyes travel to his ashen staff, studying the etchings. Beneath, tunnels and chambers, bellows and fire pits, and many of the faithful looking for the means to bring fire to the world. He turns his gaze from the staff to you. Guns, explosives, alchemy, all of these are our holy symbols, and we are eager to share. That staff of yours seems like your holy symbol. Are you a servant of Whale? Let mysteries and questions remain with him, at least until the next time we need rest.
Hey there.
He doesn't like to talk, that guy.
You cannot wait that older said? I don't want to discuss it.
What? Did he talk to himself? I think our friend here...
Hey there. I'll teach you.
seems to have split personality too.
Sure.
In this game that seems to be me and many souls. Cobblestones and bricks are bound to the rusted old cart by thick spiderwebs.
Brave thou Philos.
That's it!
Ooh, a key. I wonder if that's the key to the door that I opened with my unlock spell. What's this? A shimmering wall of energy extends across this doorway like a curtain. It repels forward movement with unnatural force. Interesting. Perhaps the voice in the throne upstairs knows more.
Brave thou Philos.
That's it!
I'll teach you a lesson. That looked like it. Show him how it's done!
That's it!
Show him how it's done! Show him how it's done!
While we have skeletons, you know, ready, we might as well take on as much as we can.
I'll teach you a lesson. Sure.
What happened with this?
Brave thou Philos.
Brave
I'll teach you a
Darfilostil.
lesson. Hey there.
Brave thou Philos.
Oh, Durance. You need to stop getting in the middle of the fight. Insane. So I really like my
Yeah?
astral piggy. Oh, wait, you have to go around there?
Brave thou
How may I help? Lava will be on seek!
Hey there.
Oh, no, 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 no! Why did you...
Show them how it's done!
Craved out.
That's it!
I'll teach you a lesson.
Why do
Yeah?
you always bring out the skeletons when the battle is over?
Craved out philothili.
Brave Daffy Lothy little to you too.
I can do that.
No, no, you can't.
I see where you're going with that. There. What did I tell you?
Yes?
Sure. Show them how it's done! Hey there.
No, 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 no. Typical idiot.
Hey there.
This isn't going very well.
Craved.
Get your blood! Make the bastards rue that!
Ay, ay, ay. I tried to use strategy. I'm not good. I told you I'm not good at these games.
Sure.
You didn't believe me. Or here's your goddamn proof. I can't press that. Our guy is like dead and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We have no more resting things either.
I'll teach you a lesson.
Oh, great! Spider Queen, just what we needed.
Hey.
Open poison.
Show him how.
Weathered and covered with a dull patina, this elaborately carved pillar appears far older than the surrounding structure.
Hey there.
Oh well. Someone's gonna die here. And I'll give you a hint. It's a dare.
Brave down.
Yep, there he went.
And that's how it's done.
Do people permanently die in this game, by the way?
Been poisoned.
Oh, been poisoned.
Moeth ixi ana.
Following your lead. Roak. 10.
Oh, fudge. There, that's better.
This won't do.
Brave down. Believe.
I do hope these two dum-dums actually come back to life. Yes, they do.
Sure.
Ooh, a spider. Is that a spider pet I got? Tiny spider pet, yeah. Wait, do different pet do different things, or are they just... Yeah, no, it's just a pet. Not gonna have a spider pet. Following me. Spiders are icky things.
Bit just like your breeches, scholar lad.
I beg your pardon?
Nothing. I said nothing.
Sure you didn't. You didn't say anything. Now everyone wants to talk. I can't go deeper yet, Ghibli. I need to talk to this statue first. Olive seems lost in thought. He flinches when you draw near, sucking a sharp breath through his teeth.
What can I do for you?
Are you alright?
Of course. Merely processing some of the unusual things we've seen lately.
His lips twitch into a flat smile.
And if Meowald is to be believed, it would seem you've an uncertain future ahead.
He watches you carefully. My situation is more dire than I realized. We've got to find this leaden key, and fast.
That does seem like the logical course of action. I shall follow your lead.
He snugs his cloak about his shoulders. I want to discuss something else. Apparently I do not.
That old watcher. I don't know what I expected, but it sure wasn't that.
You said you had some things you wanted to ask him.
Nah, well, it's kind of embarrassing now. I just got a dumb idea in my head is all. Don't know why I thought it'd work. It's funny. That's probably the first thing I got my hopes up for in, I don't know, years. At least I got that out of it.
There's no need to be embarrassed. I won't judge.
All right. Guess fair is fair, and you did bring me to see him. Those rumors back in Gilded Vale about my brother, Woden, about how he'd turned against us and fought for Widewind, been on my mind for some time now. The thing about Woden was, he always knew what was right, and that's what he'd do. One day he set out to fight for Deerwood against a man claiming to be our god. So I knew that's what I had to do too. It was right. Hearing claims that he died fighting for Rey Saris, that got me worried. Not that he'd chosen the wrong side, but that I had. Didn't seem right what Wydwin had in store, but if he really was Aethys, I thought maybe this old Watcher would know how my brother died, so I could see if it was true. Like he could, I don't know, read it in my soul or something. Use our connection. Told you it was dumb.
Why didn't you ask me for help? I don't know, because I didn't know you. It's hard to trust a stranger that says she's a Watcher.
Of course, I knew the truth deep down. A Watcher's not psychic. I think I just had this idea, and the idea made me feel a certain way, and I didn't want to lose that.
Really, if I wanted to find out about my brother, I shouldn't be starting with Watchers. I should be starting with records. So why don't you? Adair thinks a moment, his lips twisted to one side. He raises his eyebrows. If there was anything written down about it, they'd have it in Defiance Bay. They got an archive at the palace.
You've done a lot for me already, but if you could see fit to pay that archive a visit with me, well, you know. Knowing my luck, the records clerk will go crazy and try to kill me. I'd feel better with you in there with me.
I will follow you.
Hey there.
So is this a full party or can I bring someone else?
I felt Mayor Wald's passing. You slew him.
Several of him.
It saddens me to hear it. But part of me is grateful to no longer have to wait and worry in darkness.
The steward is silent a moment. The air seems to chill.
This place has always known its master, long as it's had one. It has a will all its own, which has little to do with the castle and much to do with the land it's built on. It looks to you as Mayor Wald's successor now, whether you care for it or not. A dubious honor, inheriting a fortress both broken and cursed. But in the right hands, it could be so much more. If you had only seen it in its day. Will you stay?
Merwald said that I must go to the City of Defiance in search of the Queen. The energy seems all at once to drain from the air. I see. If it's Defiance Bay you seek, I'm sorry to tell you that you've come a long way for nothing. The Eastern Barbican collapsed decades ago, and Merwald never got around to rebuilding it. The road here is a dead end. He got as far as gathering materials before his mind became preoccupied. I could make arrangements to have it repaired, if it is your will. When it ceased to be the previous master's will, I became powerless to do anything about it, for what am I but the master's instrument? It would take time, but far less than finding another route to Defiance Bay. Well, how do I repair the Barbican? Merrill set aside the materials for the Barbican, and they are still available to you. In the future, if you wish to make further repairs to the keep, we will need coin for supplies and labors. Labor. Hey Herky, how are you today? What does being the master of Kednua entail? Why, there are many responsibilities involved in maintaining a keep. The extent to which you wish to get involved is entirely up to you, of course. Part of the reason I am here is to ensure that things run smoothly in your absence, provided we have been given instruction. If you instruct me on which repairs you wish to conduct next, I will make the necessary arrangements. These may take some time to finish, but each will provide you with additional resources once they are complete. Given somewhere to place them, we can hire tradesmen to provide you with supplies or ingredients. Repairing the keep will raise your prestige, and draw both helpful individuals and unwelcome attention from bandits and opportunists. If we can raise the keep's security in turn, these will become less of a concern. You should know, however, that the position does come with some risk. Your name will grow in fame, and you must contend with threats to the keep. And then there are other things. Was there anything else, my lady? What did you mean by risks? Merwald's curse was his own, a Watcher's curse, but his predecessors have not fared better. There is a presence within the keep. or rather, far beneath it. At least, such has been the conclusion drawn by all who have come to this place. For what spirits still linger in the endless path oft speak of a master below. Every effort to settle here has failed, from the time of our adherent colonists onward. Beasts rise from the endless paths until the new lord or lady is no more. The one who dwells below, this master, does not tolerate rivals, it seems. I have seen from time to time intrepid explorers descend to lay claim to what answers they can, but none return. This is the force which has kept Gadnua a barren ruin, and robbed me of my hopes. The endless paths! That, my friend, is where I must go, where we must go if you will go with me. Whatever devils lie beneath, think too what knowledge we will find. Perhaps this master speaks Adiran. What are the endless paths? The endless paths of Odnua. That is the name given to the labyrinth beneath the keep. The Earl, We were warned by the Glenfathons that this site was cursed, and there is a legend attached to it, though at the time we thought nothing of it. Well, Herxina, I've gotten the flu right now, and I'm getting sickly, so thanks for sharing your flu, I guess. The ruins were built, it is said, by a powerful Engwithan named Odnua, who ruled there until his people turned against him. They destroyed his endless paths and filled many of the upper tunnels with soil and stone. And my stream on my phone decided to stop. Why do you do this, phone? No one living knows how far down the tunnels stretch, and few who have ventured there have returned. There is much talk of riches and treasure. The promise of Engwithan relics alone has drawn many fortune seekers. To their deaths, I fear. Who is this master below? I could not say with any certainty. I believe it must be tied to the man said to have been the architect of the endless paths, the Engwithan tyrant, Odnua. Some claim his spirit endures, or at least has laid a curse upon the site. I cannot imagine much remains of his work, for the ruins have been here 1,000 years or more, but what is left is impressive. The Earl certainly thought so. Can you reach the bottom and fight the master? Or is it like really endless, it never ever ends? You may have seen while below the hand of the great statue Odnua constructed. Perhaps it is a statue of Odnua himself. But I am not the master of Kednua. Of course you are. The keep would have no other. But the endless paths are a different thing entirely. It is unfortunate, really, that they are so closely entwined. If the master below is not dealt with, there will always be a threat to the keep from within. I know it is much to take in, but if you would remain, if you would master this place, then I can only advise you to seek out this foe before it destroys you. I have other questions. Time to find this queen in the City of Defiance. You must know, this queen you're looking for. Defiance Bay has no queen. The Mequins of Eder haven't reigned here since the war. The only queen with any power there is Woedica. I am told they erected an exquisite temple in her honor there, but I was never able to see it. If you mean to go there, we can get started right away on repairing the Barbican. You need only tell me what you wish to do. I'll make the necessary arrangements. Merwold kept a ledger as it happened. As it happens, and I have taken the liberty of updating it. You could take a look, if you wish. Okay, let me see. Then we'll get underway at once. The steward's voice belies the giddy excitement. And know, my lord, that this is but the first and least of a great many undertakings. The keep supported a great many buildings and servants for many years. If you should wish it, we can repair some of the outlying structures, and these will bring you wealth and recognition, drawing people to your service. Rebuilding the defenses will keep your grounds from becoming overrun, as they did under Merwold's keeping. You need not choose all at once. I am pledged to your aid, and so long as you are master here, we shall always be linked. You need not step upon these grounds to speak with me. Wherever your travels may take you, you can make your will known to me, if you but reach out. Oh, but first, of course, the Barbican. I guess Barbican. Uh, I actually want to get the inn. Because
Hey
inn.
there.
Oh, he wants to talk.
Then you have gained an entire keep. I don't think I've seen anyone inherit land that quickly since Kine the
See,
Younger
why
read her
does his
father's will.
conversation always start in the middle? I confess, I was hoping our meeting with Merwold would go a little differently, but then you have gained an entire keep. I don't think I've seen anyone inherit land that quickly since Kine the Younger read her father's will. I wish I could have gotten through to him. He was far gone, but don't worry. The past is there that we might learn from it. I'm sure we'll find more answers in Defiance Bay.
Beneath the keep yet.
This keep will give you a
With you at the
base from
helm,
which to
it
go
should be
searching at
easier
least.
to explore the endless paths.
And then there are secrets still to be found beneath the Great Hall, he grins eagerly. With you at the helm, it should be easier to explore the endless paths. You and your endless pathiness.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And we need to get more stuff. More of these camping gears and stuff. Gilded Veil, please. What does this mean? Wait. An attack was imminent, but your patrol staved off the enemy. We had an attack already? Oh my goodness. The more positive events tend to be. However, high security is also important. Also, who patrols? Who patrols our keep when we have no people in there? Was it the throne herself who,
Greetings.
I'd like a room, please. We're gonna take, this very cheap. Actually, let's take the common room. For free. Let's see.
Greetings.
Can we, can we buy some of the camping supplies, please? Thank you. Let's go see the blacksmith now. There he is. Because we have his things. Go, bear, go!
Hail and well met.
I found that shipment you were waiting on. Tuatanu reaches out to take the crate, raising it effortlessly on the counter. His face splits in a broad smile. Why, so you have. This is excellent news. We can finally get back to work and show you real Black Hammer quality. None of these flimsy little swords. Here, I'll give you a taste. He ducks behind the counter and rises with a heavy wooden shield in hand. Might not have had much in the way of materials to work with, but it's still Black Hammer craftsmanship. You go on and take that. Larder door! And here, some coin for your trouble, too. His pleased expression dims. Did you find anyone with the wagon? Bandits overtook the wagon. I doubt your people survived. Tuatanu shakes his head, running a hand over his bald pate. Poor fools, always told them they ought to hire some guards instead of palming the extra coin. I'll have to hire on more hands. Don't suppose you want to settle in Gilded Vale, try some delivery work? Smiles thinly. No way. You have my thanks for your assistance, friend. Give me some time to work the forge and you'll have your pick of the next run of weapons. Actually, I came here to sell stuff. Always good to see a friendly face. I hope the Vale is doing kindly by you. Let's see then. I want to sell all of these. Okay. And all of these. Feels better already. All of this shit just sold. Okay, what's my journal now? Never far from the Queen, Master below, find the ruins beneath Cadnua, travel to Redrick's Hold, spend time traveling with Durrans, travel with Adair to the Records Archive. Meh. I guess the next thing on the difficulty level would be to go to Redrun's Keep. I would have to go through Eastern Wood. Strange symbols as red and rough as scabs have been carved into some of the trees.
Brave thou Philan.
Curses!
Brave thou.
Show him how it... Yeah!
I was trying to read this. Realized Ray was just not his day, and please no necromancy. Let him rot in peace. Seriously, he really hates necromancers. Really. I'm gonna guess these are big in Hong Kong. Uh, are there
Yeah?
people who kickstarted this game or something? Hey Braxton Wise, how are you today? I have to say though, I'm really proud of Doggy. He's not the least bit scared of fireworks. Well, when he's inside, I mean. Still need to take him out for his evening piss at some point. And who knows, he might freak out at that point. These carvings glisten with fresh sap. No, it's a wish. Yeah, I'm just gonna explore this area and then I'm gonna stop for today because
I'll
teach you a lesson.
my throat is not happy.
I'll teach you a lesson.
But yeah, I would like to see someone stream
And that's how it's done. I'll teach
Arcanum.
Show him how it's done.
I want to see that game, but you know. It seems like a very difficult game to get into for me. What's that? You made pizza? Nice. I got popcorn chicken from the store. And I do not regret it. Not even a little bit. Arcanum. I would like to see someone play Arcanum of Steamworks and something else. How much until Nothing new to report. Finished in 1 hour. Nice. Then I can start on the main keep.
The only one I'd watch here is you, Watcher. Be on your guard.
Why are you being weird? The castle's bell tower rises up over the walls before you. Thick vines have grown over the outer wall, weaving over and between the stones. The vines span nearly the full height of the wall, curling over the parapets. The overgrown vines look fairly sturdy, though it is unclear whether they would bear a person's weight. Far above, you notice that a section of the parapets has fallen away, presenting a gap in the defenses. I'm not gonna jump up yet, but there's an entry point if we so wish. A heavy stench rises from the stagnant waters. The guard fixes a glower on you. You have no business here. Lord Redrick is not permitting any visitors, merchants, or traveling entertainers. He sneers. Best turn right around. I'll be leaving then. Goodbye. Just, checking out the place. Nothing suspicious at all. Wouldn't find me doing anything suspicious. Ah, this must be the sewer entrance that they told us about. I think I'm actually going to take the sewer entrance rather than try to climb over up there because I happen to know that you can get up there just from starting at the bottom, and starting at the bottom going up seems to be the good idea in my opinion. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. I am quite tired already, so thank you for joining my New Year's candy and chill stream. Okay, bye. Have a safe New Year. Don't shoot your eyes out or anything like that, or explode your hands or stuff. Okay, bye. See you later. See you next year. Bye. Okay, bye. See you next year and later and stuff. Bye. Okay, bye.